Hello and welcome back to the Dysh. And today we have been talking about masculinity and how it leads to depression in some gay men. We brought a lot of valid points, and then we've discovered that, some of our cast members are depressed.
That is not funny.
See why they laughing?
Depression is not funny. That's
No, it's not. It's a serious issue, and it's leading to death. So that's why we wanted to talk about this topic today, because we're here to help the community and to let the community know that this too shall pass. Amen.
Amen.
And some of the things now that we've discussed what leads to the depression in our opinions, what are some of the things or some of the advice that you can give to people who are dealing with stuff like this to help them live better lives and let them be more comfortable with themselves?
Talk to others, especially, because one thing that we need to stop doing within black males, gay or straight, is stop holding things in. Mm-hmm. So if you do more actual talking to others, that's an actual exercise in freeing yourself from that depression.
I think a good thing is if you surround yourself around people who you actually trust, be it good, bad, or indifferent, whatever issues that you're dealing with. Mm-hmm. If you put yourselves amongst those type of people, I think what happens is you'll start to transition your train of thought to see their perspective on how they deal with things, or maybe you might enlighten them on things, and that helps you to have an open dialogue to be able to not to be in that state of mind, to be, to start to be depressed.
Mm-hmm. Two very good things. I think it is important to talk to people, because I think there is healing in just speaking about things, even if it's one person that you are able to get things off your chest and actually even say them out loud, because sometimes just by even saying things out loud, you're able to process them in your mind and even come up with your own answers and solutions. And I also think it's I think it's important for you to really be honest with yourself about who you are and the things that you like and the things that you dislike, and to be okay within that, and to truly be who you are, as much as you can, as often as you can, all the time.
Mm-hmm. And also, I think a real good thing that will be helpful in this situation is for everybody to respect everybody else's opinion of who they are and what they are. And it's important for everybody to define themselves, for themselves, as opposed to letting outside forces define who you are. And even with myself, I know that a lot of times, I wouldn't take into consideration somebody else's feeling when they come to me with, this is why I do this and this is why I feel like this. Because I'm like, well, now you gay and you should be this and you shouldn't. You're a child, please, and all that. But it's just like, just because I don't believe in the bisexual, it doesn't mean that a person can't be a bisexual person. So, I just use that as an example to let you know that just because the person is gay.
Oh, I'm saying because you can be bisexual, because I bisexual.
See what I'm talking about?
B-U-Y.
The definition.
B-I. B-I, not B-U-I.
There was nothing wrong with
totally different thing. Totally different.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm talking about. It's important. It's important for you to listen to somebody else and get their definition. Because their definition could be different from your definition. Her definition of bisexual is she going out and she buying her some sex. But then somebody else's, I deal with men and sometimes I deal with women.
Only in states where it's legal.
It's not legal in nowhere but Las Vegas.
Oh, that's only in Vegas.
No, actually.
I had them pick me up.
A lot of states.
But anyway, respect people and their decisions and all that, and then don't be so willing to just give your advice. If people come to you and ask for your advice, then you be honest and you be real with them. But if somebody's not asking for your advice or your opinion, then keep it to yourself.
Yeah, sometimes just be a listening ear.
I think it's important to just give the respect that you want. As far as everybody has their own walks and different views, and if just as much as you want somebody to respect yours, if you give them the same respect to theirs, I think everybody, society as a whole, will be better. If I give you the same prejudices,
Oh, child, I do that all the time.
I think first, I agree with that what you're
against
saying.
myself.
But I think I agree with what you're saying. But first and foremost, you have to realize and equate what are your views,
right?
Because not views that are put upon you.
Mm-hmm.
What are truly your views?
Right.
So coming back to knowing who you are and what you like, exactly.
You voice your opinion initially will be based on how you were raised or what you were taught. You get what I'm saying? So find out what your views are, because that's why I said now I feel a different way toward the person that was bullying because of the society that he was, grown in, that he came out of. That's the only way he knows how to react when he sees a man who's a little bit more feminine or exercised another way. So he's really Not he's a victim as well
a product of
because
his
you know what I'm saying.
environment.
He's just a product of his environment. That's really not probably not his thought. And later on in life, or when the face is put on it, which moving into our next topic, when a face is put on it, his thing may change.
Because that was one of the points that I was going to bring out too, is that, like I said, we have all these different cliques in the gay community, and I have seen people grow out of one clique into another clique, because I feel like those people have taken the time to sit down and think for themselves, who am I? What do I want? And what do I care about? Okay, child, I don't care. Give a hill of beans about these people over here and what they think about what I say. So they graduate over to this group, and it's just like blase, blase. Okay.
As well, life's experiences bring us to that too, and
Of
it really
course.
does come with age and growing. You know, and I can remember always, you know, growing up, my mother would always say to me, "Keep living." You know, that what you think today may be very different than what you think 10 years from now. And in my case, that has happened, you know, sometimes too. Again, you know, there are some core values and morals that all of us have that stick, you know, that stick. But then there are other things that, you know, later on, based on what you experience in life and people that you meet along the way, you may revisit that and be like, I've kind of changed my idea about that, or the way I think about that, or my perception.
And I know we're getting ready to go on to another topic, but one of the things that it is so funny, and it just shows that, to me, that God has a sense of humor, because people could be gay bashing their whole life. You know, go their whole life, 3 and 4 generations, gay bashing, gay bashing, gay bashing. But when you have a child that is gay,
it's totally different.
The bashing stops.
Yeah, your views totally change.
Yeah,
They
because
totally
now it's
change.
no longer those gays, it's my
It's
child
right here in your
who's
own
gay.
house. Yeah.
So then you go to having to protect your child from the outside forces, as well as the people that you were brought up and raised with, because you know their definition and their views on how they feel about gay people. So now it's not only they feel that way about people outside this family, they're saying the same thing about your child. So it changed that. And I always say that gay people, no matter where you are, if you're spending money, if you're doing business with somebody, even if you're in the barbershop and they start talking gay bashing and doing all this negative talking about that, stop it. You know, hey, I'm one of those people that you all are talking about.
Definitely.
And you would be surprised how the conversation would change. Now, they probably talk about you when you leave that door.
But while
you're there, you're going to get the respect that you deserve.
Yeah.
Because I've done that on several occasions, too.
Which kind of leads us into the next topic,
Right.
as far as, you know, our president, you know, now speaking out on being in support of gay marriage, and how he has had somewhat of a shift in his views on it. And I think largely well, he said itself, it had a lot to do with his friends and family. And their views and conversations that he has had with them. So again, I'm sure some things that were a little bit more personal to him and more close to home than just being the president and having to, you know, say what, you know, you think your supporters think, but actually saying, you know, basing things on
What
those
he
people that are
feel.
close to you and what you really feel in your heart.
As opposed to what the campaign said his stance should be. Now he's telling us what he really feels about it. What do y'all think about that, the president endorsing gay marriage as opposed to, you know, these
Civil
gay
union.
unions that he was talking about?
Well, I think at the end of the day, he has to live with the decisions that he makes. And I think, you know, he probably would have regretted if he felt like he didn't do something to his fullest potential while he was in office. You know, I caught a glimpse last night when I was catching up on my TiVo and stuff of, you know, all the different programs. But I caught last night when he was on the news, how he was saying that he wanted to make sure that through his travels, he was talking to different people, that he thought of his daughters, he thought of some of his own family members, and if he was put in the situation that some of the individuals of, you know, Americans who were put in those different situations, he tried to place himself in those situations. And then when he said that, you know, even though he sat down and talked with his wife, Michelle, that when they both came together, you know, and they were both equally yoked, and they came to a common ground and said, well, you know what, this is where we have to exercise our faith, and this is our belief. Even though we believe in, you know, marriage is between, you know, a man and a woman of what we believe it is, but we also have to, you know, try to make sure that we make other people feel just as comfortable as, you know, wanting to be in a marriage. And I think what happens is that I personally feel that a lot of times that we focus so much on the words opposed to actually what the relationships are with people. And I think that's where I think a lot of people have gotten kind of uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if somebody calls you something, it's not what they call you, it's what you react to, you know. But I think a lot of times too is that the things that we're wanting is that it's not being recognized, and I think that's what I think that's where all the controversy is starting to come in from
Well,
different people.
I can talk about this all day and all night. I think it's several layers to this. Is why it's so controversial. But I think part of it is because I was expressing to somebody else. It's just like, part of the reason that, a lot of people have problems with them accepting gay marriage is some people look at gay as nothing but sex. It's just two men want to have sex and blah, blah, blah. So if that's that definition of, gay, then of course they're going to have a problem with it. But it's just like on the flip side of that, I don't think gay people are really taking into consideration, all gay people. Not all gay people, but some, the mass majority of gay people are really taking on the responsibility of what they're really asking for when they say we want, the right to be married. Because initially all of this was brought on by gay couples who were in these long-lasting relationships, and then one of the partners ended up dying. And then all of the belongings from his partner were going to the family. The family come get all the furniture, his bank account, they come and get all that, and blah, blah, blah. And then when they go to the courts trying to, fight it and get this, like, we've been together for 20 years, we've been together for 25 years. Yes, but the state doesn't recognize you all as a couple. So therefore, his belongings go to the next of kin, which are his parents. So that's what initiated all this. These people wanted to get these rights so they can, just go visit them in the hospital, do different things.
I never disagreed with that. Because what I've heard, and I heard a lot of people, with the Democrats and the Republicans and the different gay organizations, is that at one time they were so caught up on the word marriage being used and identified with gay people. You know what I'm saying? But again, like I said, for me personally, I would like to make sure that if I was in a committed relationship, that I would be able to have the benefits. I don't care if you call it marriage, civil union, if you recognize, say if it's a partner, man, woman, whatever, as long as I have the same benefits.
Right.
And I've noticed that
the benefits come with the title.
No,
Right.
but what I'm saying is, I've noticed that a lot of people, heterosexual people, have issues with the word marriage being labeled to two gay individuals.
People, right.
And I'm saying for me personally, I wouldn't care what you think about it, as long as I have my benefits.
And I understand what you're
You know
saying.
what I'm saying? If we were together and I passed or you passed or whatever the case may be, it really wouldn't matter what the outside would say, as long as when it came down, whatever was on paper and what we agreed to, as long as I'm able to take control or you able to take control, that's all that would really matter to me.
And I understand what you're saying. And at first, I felt much the same way. And then as I thought about it more and more and more and more, I realized that by giving it a different title, it is still kind of lessening or downplaying the relationships between same-sex couples, because how is between a man and a woman, it's called marriage, but between two men or two women, it's the civil union. If in our minds it's the same type of commitment that a heterosexual couple has made, then it's the same thing. So it goes above and beyond, which you're right, the rights are the main thing, but it's kind of like don't discredit. Exactly.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what Sophia said. You have to respect other people's thoughts and their opinions. I'm just saying, for me personally, as long as I have the same benefits, you can call it whatever you want to.
I understand that, but I think the importance is that it is not lessened or made something that is not equal to by calling it a civil union, because it's the same thing. Because my relationship, but
if you tell me it don't mean nothing, but I know it means something between who I'm with, that's all I'm concerned with.
But again, that's kind of like us allowing society to define who we are and dictate where, and actually marriage is a governmental thing. Marriage, in the way that we're speaking about it now, between a man and a woman or two men or two women, is not biblical. That's a government thing.
Correct.
So even that in and of itself, if we're saying separation, because some people want to use the issue of the Bible and separation of church and state, well, then if this is truly a governmental thing, why can't it be, two men or two women?
That's what Barack's standing up
as well.
I think Hawaii was the first person to implement the gay marriages. So when they were coming in as being a state, they wrote it in so that they would actually not doctrine all of the rules
that
they would come into the States. But she was on the View earlier this week, and she spoke on the problem that she had, why it needs to be under the same umbrella and the same term, because we think we got the rights for civil unions, but a marriage is totally different from civil union. The fact that if, like Sophia said, if we're mates and we're married, and I die, and Sophia's able to get everything is left to her, and she doesn't have to
go to the family for nothing,
and don't have to pay taxes. on whatever was left to her on my part. But in a civil union, only a percentage of mine goes to you. The rest goes to the state.
Yeah, there's still a lot of laws that
If
are not
there's a child
allotted to
that you
civil
adopted.
unions.
But
If
that's
you
why
were
I
not
said
the
before.
person whose name adopted the child, you now don't have no.
Say so.
But that's what I'm
There's
saying.
still a
As
lot
long
of
as,
laws
but that's
that
what I'm saying. As long as I have the same benefits,
Right.
You know, I'm speaking of the labeling of what that I've seen a lot of people saying. You know, who are running for Romney and all them, they have an issue with us using the word marriage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
But
I'm
you
just
know what?
saying,
I
I'm
think
just saying, as long as I get the same benefits,
Yeah.
is what you call
we
marriage.
got you. As long as she get the same benefits, she okay. She don't care what y'all think about her and her people. As
Call
long
it
as she
dog
getting the
race.
benefits. But I think, in a way, it would really help when it comes to gay relationships. Because right now, when you really think about it, we have the freedom to do whatever we want when we're in these relationships. And then when the relationships don't work out, y'all break up and you go your separate ways. Y'all probably fight over the little furniture, but you're like, oh, you can just go on and keep that. But now you're in a situation where you don't have no say-so. The court is going to say, who gets what and how this is going to be divided and blah, 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 blah. So when they have to go through these different channels, as opposed to right now, you leave this person and go live with this person. Now y'all go together. Now y'all at the club and hanging out and now this week you did. But now if you are married, if you're serious about being with somebody, it's going to take a little bit more to be in this relationship as opposed to us just staying here just because.
But see, that goes back to what you were saying earlier, that a lot of gay individuals, not all, do not know what they're asking for.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So,
And we're going to take a break. We're going to come back because a lot of
That's what
people,
we'll talk about.
it's kind of because we got to talk about, because I know a lot of people, if they pass gay marriage, they ain't going to be in love. They just going to want to get married just because
I don't
I'm going to
think-
show these girls, I'm going to have.
It ain't been no massive flux of people going to get the civil unions.
Child, but every time,
So I don't
wait.
understand, but I don't.
But wait, every time a state, well, we're gonna save it. We're gonna
Oh,
save it.
we'll-
We'll
okay,
come
we'll
back.
be back.
We're gonna save it when we
I'm
come
not
back.
even
Because
speaking.
every time a
Can we
state,
play a wedding
but
song?
no.
Can we play a
No,
wedding song?
but this is what I want to leave with. Every time a state passed the gay marriage, just like, okay, California said that they now have gay marriages and everything. It's always full. Courthouse is full. Yeah, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back.
Yeah. Okay. Great.